Hey everybody, it's Dustin again with the Cisco Devices team. And today I'm just going to do a really quick video showing you how you can make sure that your Cisco MTR device can join a WebEx meeting or a Zoom meeting, any type of the third-party direct guest join experiences or the native WebEx experience on your Cisco MTR. Now, this is actually the same process for any MTR, but I know that we've had a lot of questions around it, so I just wanted to do a quick little tutorial video showing you some of the minimum things that you need to do in order to make this happen on your Cisco device. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over. And first things first, so this video is not going to talk about how to create and configure a resource account for your device. We'll do another video for that, but this one's assuming that you've already created your resource account and that you have already assigned it a license, and maybe you're already signed in and you're able to make calls, but you're finding that you can invite it to a WebEx meeting, for example, and you are not getting a join button, or you're not able to see the meeting details. And so we're just going to go through some of the simple steps to kind of make sure that that is set up correctly. So assuming you've got all that, most of this stuff done, and you may have done this part right here, but we're going to go down here to the mailbox properties. This is probably one of the more important key pieces of this. And this is what Microsoft recommends to do. You don't have to do all of these, but most of these are pretty important. For example, things like delete the comments. That needs to be the comments need to be there because that's the body of the invite, and that's where the actual third-party meetings and Teams meetings, especially ones that are external, information resides. So that needs to be there and not be deleted, which it is by default on a room resource property. This needs to be changed so that way you can see the meeting information so it can process it. Another one that's pretty popular, it's not necessarily required though, is the process external meetings. That allows you to have from an outside organization. If you get invited to another Teams tenant, or in this case, like even another WebEx org, for example, this will allow the mailbox to be able to process those and allow you to have that information for that one button to push or one touch join. A few other of these that are also recommended but are optional are some things like the additional response, remove private property. I mean, I encourage you to go through these and see which ones may be applicable to you. But for the sake of this kind of demo, we're just going to use the ones that Microsoft recommends, including the response of this is a Microsoft Teams meeting room. One nice thing about this is that you can actually get a little nice copy here for the actual script that you can actually write in PowerShell. Now, taking a step back, these commands do have to be done through PowerShell using the set calendar processing commandlet. This is something that will be required, and I'm actually going to show you how to do it, but I'm not going to show you how to enable PowerShell. So you'll have to learn how to install and enable PowerShell on your PC or your Mac. And then once you have that, you'll connect to the Exchange Online PowerShell, and you'll run these commands. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just start with this and actually start with that part of it. And then I'm going to show you how you have to, on the actual device itself, enable the third-party interop. So I'm going to bring up my PowerShell here. And this is my PowerShell that I have installed. Now I'm going to pause real quick because I am going to have to do this connect to the commandlet, the Exchange Online. So I'm going to do that real quick and get myself connected with username and password, and then we'll come right back. So 1 second. Okay, we're back. So you see here that I have connected to Exchange Online. It brought up a browser, allowed me to do some modern authentication, and I have logged in with my administrative account for this. And it's basically sitting here as the command line. So I'm going to basically take this commandlet that they've done here, showing all of those processing commands we want to set. And under identity, I actually put the identity of the MTR room resource account that I have. But I'm going to go ahead and paste this so I don't have to type it all. And you'll see here that I have got my set calendar processing rule with my identity, which is the one that I'm going to be demoing here with, and all of the values and all of the commands that I actually want to have assigned to this. Now, this is very important because, again, this allows the email invites to this mailbox actually to be able to be read, to be able to give you that one button to push or one touch join experience. So simply, once I do that, I just hit return, and this will just take a second. It will add all those flags, and you're done. Now you can do a get calendar processing command and you can do your identity. And I'm going to go ahead and change this to the right one here. It's from an older command I've done. But I'm going to do this identity for the one I just did, and I'm going to look at this format list just to make it easier for me to read. But if I hit enter on that, what you will see is that all of those policies that I had run, some things like allowing conflicts, something that I did beforehand, but delete comments, which is by default is true. It's now set to false. Remove the private property, false. So these are all of those things that I just did, including that additional response. This is a Microsoft Teams meeting room. Those commands actually took, and I now know that this mailbox is pretty much ready to go. So now I'm going to bring you over to, and this is my panel right here, touch panel for my room bar that I have. And there's one more step that we have to do. So we also have to, on each individual device, enable this third-party interop capability. So I'm going to hit my More button here, and I'm going to go to Settings. This will be the same if it was a WebEx board as well. But let me go ahead and get this going. One moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, had the wrong device up. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit my my More button here, and I'm going to go to my device's settings. And then from there, I'm going to go to Device Settings. Now, the first thing you're going to notice here is that everything is going to be locked. Now, this is by default, so all of these, some of these menu options are going to be locked by default per policy from Microsoft. And what we want to get to here is the Teams admin settings. And you'll see here that it is actually locked. And if I go to press on it, it's going to prompt me for a username and password. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. Number one, if it is a MTR device that is not registered to Control Hub, you will get this prompt, and you will use the admin password and the or admin username and the password that was assigned or that you chose during your onboarding. If this is registered to Control Hub in the back end, then you would actually get a warning saying that you need to go to Control Hub to unlock these settings. And from there, you would just go into Control Hub, go to your device, access the configuration, and you would turn the settings menu mode from locked to unlocked. Now, for sake of this demonstration, I'm going to actually show you how to do that from the web GUI. So I'm going to leave the device settings actually up, but I'm going to come back over here to my web browser. Let me pull this out of the way here for a second. And I'm just going to show you how you can do this from signing in. Now, again, this could be done from Control Hub if it was registered to WebEx, but if not, you'll have to do it from the web GUI or right there from the panel itself. But just to show you the config, because it's the same config either way, we're going to go over here and we're going to go log in to the IP address of the device, admin, using the password that we set. I'm going to go to my settings, user interface, and then I'm going to look for my settings menu down here at the bottom, and you'll see that it's listed as locked. So if I change this now to unlocked and hit save, immediately when I come back over here to my panel, you'll see that all of those locks are gone, and I now have the ability to come in here and go to my Teams admin settings. Now, because I've unlocked this, it's actually unlocked for good in the settings. If I had used my username and password on my panel, it would have let me in that one time, and then when I exited out, you would have to enter that password again. So depending on what your security policy is or what you want to do, this is kind of up to you, but this is how I've done it for this demonstration. So now I go to my Teams admin settings, and once I'm in here, you'll see that there is a tab called Meetings, and if I go to my Meetings tab, and now if I scroll down on this tab, you'll see that there is a third-party, allow joining of third-party meetings, and it's got Cisco WebEx as well as Zoom. So when I turn both of these on, or just the WebEx one, doesn't really matter. Now whenever I get an invite and I forward it to my MTR, because I've set those calendar processing rules and I've now enabled both of these settings, I will get the one button to push or one touch to join for all my meeting types. So Microsoft Teams, Cisco WebEx, and Zoom. And this is the process is going to be the same essentially for those who are just standalone MTR, or if you are registered to WebEx Control Hub. The difference being that if you are registered to Control Hub, whenever you go to join that meeting, you'll get the native full WebEx experience. Whereas if you're not, you'll just get the direct guest join WebRTC experience, which is the exact same thing that you'll get with Zoom. So now that I've done that, whenever I email or invite this device to a meeting, it will show up in my calendar and I'll have the ability to join it. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I hope that will help everybody, and happy testing. Expect some more videos to come. If you have any questions, just comment below and we'll get back to it as soon as we can. Thanks.